Welcome to today's Explainer. So glad you're here. Tell me, have you ever felt like you're doing absolutely everything right for your health? You're taking your daily vitamins, you're eating all your greens, you're really trying to get enough sleep, but you still just feel kind of sluggish or achy or just off? Well, today we're diving into exactly why that might be happening. And spoiler alert, it all comes down to a crucial, synergistic link that is more than likely missing from your current routine.
I want to talk directly to you for a second. Most of us reach for a supplement the exact second the sun goes down for winter, right? The days get shorter, the air gets a little colder, and we think we're putting up this ultimate health shield just by swallowing our daily pill. But if you're still experiencing that heavy winter sluggishness or that deep bone ache, well, there's a really fascinating biological reason for it.
And here is the scary truth right out of the gate. Taking vitamin D all by itself, it might actually be doing your body way more harm than good. Think of vitamin D like a high-powered construction crew. They are incredibly good at their job. But if they don't have a GPS to tell them where to go or the fuel to actually start their engines, they're just going to sit around and cause biological chaos in your body. Let me show you exactly what I mean.
Part 1. The Flawed Hero. Vitamin D.
All right, it's time to redefine literally everything we think we know here. We call it a vitamin because, well, that's what we're all used to. But medically speaking, vitamin D is actually a master hormone. It influences nearly 10% of your entire genetic code. It has receptors in almost every single cell in your body, from your brain all the way down to your toes. That is how incredibly important this hormone is to basic human function.
But here's the massive problem we're facing as a modern society. Over 90% of the population is walking around completely deficient in this crucial hormone. 90%. That means almost everyone you interact with today is operating at a major hormonal deficit. Crazy, right?
And a big part of the confusion stems from seriously outdated guidelines. The official recommendation you usually see is somewhere around 600 to 800 international units. But a lot of experts now say that dose is barely enough to prevent rickets, which is a severe bone disease, let alone support a thriving immune system or, optimal brain health. Contrast that with modern medical suggestions, where some doctors are saying a healthy adult might actually need up to 10,000 IUs a day just as a baseline maintenance dose.
So how do you even know if you're deficient? Well, you might actually be ignoring some pretty bizarre symptoms. Do you get head sweating? Like if your forehead is always damp even when it's cool out? That's a classic sign. What about procrastination? Yes, seriously. Vitamin D heavily affects the nucleus accumbens, which is your brain's motivation center. So if you can't seem to get off the couch, it might literally be a chemical deficit. Then there's deep bone achiness, kind of like a dull ache in your pelvis or hips. And finally, there's the shadow rule. Basically, if you're outside and your shadow is longer than you are tall, the sun's angle is just too low and you aren't making any vitamin D naturally.
But here's the massive plot twist, and the exact reason why taking vitamin D all by itself is so dangerous. When you start taking high doses of solo vitamin D to fix those symptoms we just talked about, your body starts absorbing massive amounts of calcium from your diet. But without guidance, that calcium has absolutely no idea where to go. So instead of going into your bones where you want it, it dumps right into your arteries and your kidneys. This is known as the calcium paradox. You end up with brittle bones, but hardened, calcified arteries. Definitely not what you signed up for.
Which brings us to Part 2, the traffic controller, vitamin K2.
Enter the vital GPS system. This is what saves your high-powered vitamin D construction crew from causing that disastrous calcium paradox. Vitamin K2 activates two very distinct superhero proteins in your body. First up, osteocalcine. This acts like a biological magnet, pulling all that free-floating calcium right out of your blood and directly into your bones and teeth, where it actually belongs. Second is the matrix GL protein, or MGP for short. Think of MGP as a shield, or maybe like a broom. It actively sweeps dangerous calcium deposits out of your cardiovascular system and arteries. It literally guides the delivery truck to the correct address. And the impact of this is honestly staggering. There's this really exciting study showing that for every 10 micrograms of vitamin K2 you take, your overall risk of heart disease drops by 9%. 9%! And because it's directing calcium correctly, it's making your bones stronger and more flexible instead of just hard and brittle.
Now for part 3, the spark plug, magnesium.
Okay, so you've got the workers, you've got the GPS, but guess what? You still need fuel to start the engines and get this entire biological vehicle moving. The problem is, the vast majority of us are running on absolutely empty. About 65% of people are completely magnesium starved. Let's simplify the science for a second. Vitamin D enters your body in an inactive form. To become the active hormone that actually does all the heavy lifting, it has to pass through your liver and your kidneys. And here's the kicker. Every single enzyme involved in that conversion process requires magnesium to function.
So the absolutely crucial point is this. If you take high doses of isolated vitamin D3, your body frantically tries to activate it. And in doing so, it actively drains your already super low magnesium stores. What happens next? You end up with highly stressful side effects like muscle cramps, eye twitches, sudden bouts of anxiety, insomnia, and even high blood pressure. You might be sitting there blaming the vitamin D, but really, you've just entirely exhausted your magnesium.
And hey, magnesium isn't just for vitamin D either. It's a vital cofactor for over 300 different bodily reactions. 300! It keeps your heart rhythm steady. It keeps your muscles perfectly relaxed. It is, without a doubt, the great calmer of the human body.
Moving on to part 4, the ultimate trifecta protocol.
Okay, so now we know we absolutely need all 3 of these to avoid chaos and actually build health. Let's assemble this ultimate health dream team, starting with the sunlight strategy. The absolute best way to get natural vitamin D is hitting the morning golden hour, which is between 7:30 and 9:30 a.m. This precise little window gives you the healthy UVB rays necessary for D production, but without the highly damaging skin-aging UVA rays you get from the midday sun. And remember to check your shadow. If it's shorter than you are, you're good to go.
Next up, let's talk about diet. Look, you can't just eat salads all day and expect to get K2. You really need fermented foods. Natto, which is a traditional fermented soy dish, is actually the world's richest source. But hey, if you can't stomach natto, aged cheeses like Gouda and Jarlsberg, or even high-quality egg yolks are excellent alternatives. Now for magnesium, think seeds and nuts. Pumpkin seeds are absolute powerhouses. I mean, you get 150 milligrams in just a single ounce. That's huge. Dark chocolate and spinach are fantastic runners-up too.
Now, if you are going to supplement, here is your explicit playbook. For vitamin D3, you want to aim for 1,000 to 4,000 IU daily for your standard maintenance. For vitamin K2, you specifically want to look for the MK7 form on the label. Why? Because it stays in your body significantly longer than other forms. Around 90 to 200 micrograms is the sweet spot there. And for magnesium, target 360 to 400 milligrams. I highly advise magnesium glycinate, mostly because it is incredibly easy on the stomach compared to other forms like citrate.
Oh, and a quick pro tip to save you some money and protect your health, always look for the USP mark on your supplement bottles. The supplement industry is, well, largely unregulated, but that USP mark is an independent verification that whatever is printed on the label is actually inside the pill.
Conclusion: collaborative health. Before we wrap up, I do need to deliver one absolutely crucial safety warning. If you are currently taking prescription blood thinners like warfarin, or if you have any active kidney disease, you absolutely must talk to your doctor before starting K2 or high-dose D3. These nutrients are powerful and they can directly interfere with certain medications and kidney functions. Safety always comes first, guys.
So the core message of this explainer is really just that nutrients do not work in isolation. Your body is this incredibly complex, beautifully interconnected, collaborative system. By assembling this specific trifecta, you are building a rock-solid foundation for a soft, healthy heart, strong, flexible bones, and a perfectly motivated brain. So I'll leave you with this question. Are you already taking the trifecta? Now that you understand how D3, K2, and magnesium rely on each other to keep calcium out of your arteries and power up your brain, how are you going to build your ultimate health team? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.